Thank you everybody again for joining us on our weekly Stay Moving series. It's July 10th and just really excited to have one of our close friends along with us this week. So as a quick little recap for you, the vision of Stay Moving series is essentially to have one unified vision where we share knowledge and insight for everybody. The mindset is truly to think differently and conduct an open dialogue. We'll be going through creative business and digital trends as we ask different questions down a particular topic. The goal of this is to help everybody keep a step ahead in the shifting economy. As we know, earlier this year, a lot of things have changed. A lot of industries and verticals have been disrupted. And so our goal is to have one unified conversation and truly to work together to become strong on the other side. So today's agenda, like I was saying, is we're going to be going through skincare is actually our topic today. Really excited to go and chat about that. We'll go through industry stats. We'll meet the CLEARstem team. We'll chat through business topics, creative, digital, and then at the end, we'll have a recap of ideas. So just to give everybody a little bit of context for this, the skincare industry. So as we're seeing right now, the US skincare market is around a $17 billion industry. 50% of US consumers use skincare products daily, and it's something that we're not only seeing from the men's standpoint, but also as the females as well. Over 80% of Gen Zers use organic and natural skincare products. So therefore what we want to do is bring one of our close friends on today, and I want to welcome everybody to Kayleigh. So Kayleigh, you just want to quickly give a quick little intro on who you are and CLEARstem for us?
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for having me on. I'm Kayleigh. I'm one of the co-founders of CLEARstem Skincare. I am also a holistic nutritionist as well. And so the reason why CLEARstem started was actually because of both my skincare and wellness healing journey, but also my business partner, Danielle, as well. I actually came to her when I was really struggling with my skin about 5 years ago. And she helped clear it, but it wasn't your normal clear your skin. We took a multifaceted approach to dealing both internally and externally with skincare. And so really our partnership formed from there. And we are the very first anti-acne and anti-aging skincare line with 0 toxins. And so our goal has always been so people don't have to choose between acne products that are really disruptive to their health and their skin and aging products that can sometimes cause acne and cause more long-term damage to the skin. So we want to bridge the two together to help people really have long-term healing for their skin and age really well as they get older, but do it all in a really clean way. So that's been one of our biggest pillars is education. So having products, but also the education to back everything up.
Awesome. The first and only, hopefully, right?
Yes.
Love that. Great intro. I love that. So as we'll kind of kick off, again, just super excited to have you. We'll start with kind of the business trends, and I'll kick that off. And we have about 3 or so, and then we'll just ask different questions throughout. So as we know, which is also one of your unique value propositions, right? So we've seen over the last years a higher demand for organic, natural ingredients, and then also products with new product combinations from hemp, CBD, and other natural remedies. And that's just something that we've seen. I think a lot more consumers actually care about and want to do that. So earlier you were talking about, that's been one of your pillars. Can you talk to us about what are some of the core ingredients that make up your guys' products and how that was a unique value proposition from when you started?
Yeah, so a lot of people in the last couple of years have deeply cared about what's in their skin products because we're finding out that a lot of long-term issues like different cancers, especially breast cancer, is directly linked to products you're putting on your skin. So people have been really aware of like silicones and parabens and then recently hormone disruptors in skincare on the both female and male side. So what we do, first of all, we make our products really clean. And so essentially what that means is we don't use any toxic ingredients or hormone disruptors. And then a lot of ingredients that we like to put in are ones that are going to create clinical change to the skin, because you can put in like fun, trendy ingredients that are just really good for marketing purposes. But you want to make sure that you're choosing ingredients that are going to create long-lasting clinical change. And that's what we put a huge focus on. So we have ingredients like hyaluronic acid. That's a big one that helps like restore the moisture from the inside out for your skin. We use mandelic acid, which really helps to like smooth and brighten your skin. So people that have a lot of pigmentation damage or sun damage, that's really helpful and creates pretty much overnight change. And then we do have some fun, trendy ones that also are very clinical, like turmeric and reishi mushroom. Bakuchiol is kind of a newer one that's a natural form of retinol. And then one of the big pillars to what's in a lot of our serums, though, is stem cells. And that's what creates massive, like regenerative change in the skin. And it'll help reduce like wrinkles and scar damage. And so people will see a lot of results from these ingredients, even though they're a little more trendy.
That's so awesome. I love how much passion and attention to detail you put into your products.
Yeah, I mean, Danielle and I are both obsessed with skincare, and like we want to see change in our skin, and so we want the same for other people. So we would never create a product that we wouldn't want to use every single day ourselves.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think what's cool about you guys' product too is we all can relate, right? I think for a while, especially when we all grew up, everybody had acne to some level, and so it's so cool now to have more of a direct-to-consumer brand. Because obviously, back in the day, you used to have to go to actually a pharmacy or a doctor to actually get something to be prescribed. So
yeah, or proactive, which was just so like harmful for everyone's skin.
Yep. Oh God, proactive. Oh my God, it's brought back memories.
Right?
Proactive days. Oh God, get away. Oh man, it's too good. Well, awesome. The second one, which we kind of alluded to a little bit earlier, but we're starting to see men's skincare demand is on the rise. So the global men's skincare products market size is anticipated to hit, $18.9 billion by 2027. And so for those that don't know, you guys also do offer men products as well. Can you tell us a little bit about how you maybe got in the market and then maybe what your vision is with it as well?
Yeah, we always planned on having products for men because Danielle owns San Diego Acne Clinic and she sees both men and women. And so we never wanted to exclude men for our products for the reason that like you guys want great skin too. And I think for a long time, guys didn't want to necessarily admit that, or like as guy to guy, you don't talk about it as much because I know guy friends come to me for their skincare advice. Like they don't go to their guy friends. So I think there was just it wasn't as talked about. And now that men are caring a little bit more like how they dress and how they look, it's becoming a more of a conversation topic. And so we see it as our duty to provide that education to guys.
Awesome. Ben, did you just buy some online right now, man? Did you just buy some? He's like, yes, I did.
I did not, no, but I will.
You better, man. You better after this call. All right. Cool. So the third one, as we're seeing, is the growing demand of personalized products in skin tech. Technologies in skincare involve analyzing your specific needs and delivering targeted products and routines. And I'm just kind of curious how you're seeing it, maybe from like an industry point of view, with personalization as it relates to skincare and healthcare and whatnot.
So my biggest worry with everything that's getting hyper personalized is skincare. Only the routines need to be personalized, not necessarily the products. And I think it's a huge trend right now to like custom have vitamins, it's custom everything, right? You like take this quiz and like you get a custom face wash or a custom vitamin. And the only problem with that is because they're producing only a certain amount of formulas in high volume. What we've seen, because Danielle and I have ordered a lot of these products and tried them out, you can't check the ingredients online first because it's custom. And so you can't evaluate to see if like, is there toxic ingredients in it? Are there pore clogging ingredients in it? So you don't really know what you're getting until you receive it. And it's a little more marketing right now. And so like we have our set products and we can give you a personalized skincare routine of how to use things based on what's going on with your skin. But I'm not a huge fan on like the custom formulated per skin type because that's not really how skin works.
Yeah, it's hard to offer and create a solution that is like a one size fits all, right? Yeah. There has to be some level of customization or expertise for it, especially when you're like a Neutrogena or you're a larger company where you operate on those large scales and the efficiencies, right? Yeah, so it's just been interesting to see it. I do agree with you though too. It's definitely, a little bit of that gimmicky kind of thing. And I think it's just like a creative way to get people in the door.
Yeah, I think some companies are like going in the right direction with it. I just think at the end of the day, it's very difficult to actually custom formulate ingredients for people's skin because everyone's skin needs the same ingredients. It's just like, are you exfoliating more? Are you hydrating more? Like, you're just kind of changing up the way your routine is rather than the ingredients.
Yeah, and a point I made earlier when I was chatting with Nick was that there's only so much benefit or additional benefit that those types of services are going to provide, right? Like having a general understanding of how you should be treating your skin and the ingredients that are good for your body, regardless of, what your skin type is and all that kind of thing. There's only so much marginal benefit that you're going to get from a service or a product like that, something like CLEARstem Skincare isn't going to give you anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been cool to see though, for sure.
Yeah. And I think too, another fact on there, right? And even on your guys' website, you guys talk about it, but like there's a lot of external factors, right? Somebody's diet, their own health, you name it, that's hard to customize, right? And unless that person's extremely vulnerable with what they're eating, how they're exercising, you name it, it's really hard to get that true solution that you're looking for.
Exactly. Like if you have a supplement that's triggering certain hormones, so for instance, like too much vitamin D triggers testosterone production, and for women that's going to cause more acne. So a lot of times it's someone just removing like their vitamin D supplement and their skin clears up. So products aren't going to fix everything, which is why education is such a big pillar of ours, because we know if they have all these acne triggers going on, our products aren't going to solve all their problems. But if they fix these, it'll help support it, and then they'll see greater change from it.
Awesome. Great. Cool. So the last one, and this is, I just love this question just because I think it's so I think our demographic and just like where we are in life, we've seen the other companies in the industry just really disrupt different companies because of the idea of direct-to-consumer e-commerce versus your traditional retail. And it's interesting because we found, a quote from eMarketer pretty much saying that beauty products or beauty buyers who valued quality most were likely to pretty much buy it online. But the other ones, if you go to big box, right, you'd pretty much do it by price. So it's saying that like online, they're willing to do value and pay a little bit more for the quality, but in store, obviously they're very price sensitive. So I guess question for you, like what's your guys' vision? Do you think you guys will always stay a little bit more D2C, or do you think you guys will open up to a lot more big box, or where's your guys' head at, especially in this industry?
Yeah, as we transition to a little more of a retail model, we still want to stay very direct to consumer because, again, our education pillar, we have full control over communication with our customer, and we take them through a lot of different email flows depending on like what their skin issues are and what questions they have. And so we have some awesome educational email flows set up for people that they wouldn't get if they bought in store. But what we're going to be going after like Q4 of this year and Q1 of 2021 is those smaller boutique, like non-toxic beauty stores, because the workers there are like heavily trained on every single product that comes in store. And so if someone comes in struggling with acne or some different things that our brand can help with, the people are trained to know how to educate about our product. And so we want to launch first into those smaller non-toxic retailers so we can still keep that education part of the business going.
Yeah, it definitely seems like a lot of those big box, it's like, okay, here's a product.
People just kind of grab off the shelves what like looks cool or like what they've seen. It's just, you just lose that connection with your community, and you just lose that connection with the customer. And we've been so successful because of our education and ability to connect with the consumer.
Yeah. And I won't spoil it too much, but I know the guys will go into your creative and digital trends, which is exciting. So I'll save my questions for later. Awesome. So I'll kick it over for the creative side if you guys want to go.
Thanks, Josh. And Kayleigh, it's great to have you on today. Just heads up, me and Kayleigh went to high school. So
let's go.
Long time, Nick.
Long time
coming.
So getting in the first topic, I think packaging is so important, definitely on the creative side. And, recently you guys took a unique approach to your rebrand, I think getting your community involved. Can you tell me a little bit of that story and like what was that process like?
Yeah, it was so much fun. So the first time that we designed our packaging, we went with an agency and we liked the look of it, but Danielle and I have no idea what we're doing when it comes to design. Like I look at something and I'm like, I either like it or I don't, but I can't tell you like what to move. I can't tell you what to do. I'm just like, I don't like something needs to change. I don't know, but I don't know what it is. So we knew like both of our heads don't necessarily work that way. And we've built a really strong community and we've had people over the last year share a lot of insight to packaging and share a lot of suggestions. Like we've gotten that from people like, oh, maybe it should be in this bottle. Oh, have you ever considered this? And even close friends who are in the design space too have given me a lot of suggestions. And so instead of going one singular way, working with an agency, because we've built this community and because they care so much about the product and they're the ones buying it, we thought, why not host a contest on social media and have people submit their designs, what they want to see. So that way we're creating what the consumer wants rather than what we want. Because at the end of the day, it's not about us. It's about, our community that we're building. And so we had some specifications. We wanted to be really big on communicating value points. So we wanted to make sure we had a couple highlighted ingredients on it. And then there's 3 words that align with those highlighted ingredients. So it makes it easy for retail too. If someone like picks it up, it's like, all right, hydrating, that goes directly to the hyaluronic acid. So they all connect. So it makes it really easy to describe. So you don't figure out like a friend's house and like the serum is sitting on their bathroom counter and they're like, oh, what does this do? It like tells you on the front of the bottle. So we definitely knew what words we wanted and we knew we wanted some color change aspect to it, but kept it clean and simple. And so we gave a couple guidelines. We shot out the contest on social media and to our email, and we got over like 200 submissions back.
Dang,
yeah.
Awesome.
200 submissions of actual like.
Some people, yeah, some were really simple. And some people like created pitch decks of like full concept, like with like putting on the bottle, had like multiple concept ideas and like why they come up with these concept ideas. I was blown away. And for someone that like loves to give back to everyone, I'm like, why can't we choose everyone? I do want to turn anyone down because like some people put like so much hard work into it, which we were so grateful for. But it was a great chance to just continually involve our community every step of the way in the process.
Yeah, you might have some of those customers some equity. That much work.
Right. We ended up picking one and she was awesome. And then we just continually worked with her for revisions. And it's been great.
What was the, just more of a question to hop in there. So I don't know if we've ever talked about it, but the idea of the name and how you did clear and then stem and then how it correlates to the colors. I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah, so the clear part, obviously a big focus of ours is to clear people's skin. And then because our very first serum still is, but it's now our Cell Renew serum. But at the time it was just called like our stem cell serum when we first launched it. Because stem cells are so regenerative and it's something that we're going to continue to have through a lot of our serums because it creates major change. So the stem part is not only the stem cells, but also stem as in nature as well, because all of our ingredients are natural. So it kind of combines a lot of things. The clear also, we're really clear about efficacy in our ingredients. And so there's a lot of play on words with it.
I love it. That's so important, especially for anybody looking to have, develop a name or a brand or an image. Like what you see and then what you hear is like the 2 most important things ever. And I love that you condense them into one with your value prop. So yeah. That's awesome. Cool. Nick, you want to go on the second one, my man?
Yeah, getting into the second topic, we all know and we saw earlier the skincare market just keeps growing, more competition, more brands, more innovation. How do you land those early adopters, those early customers and standing out, from the competition? I know you guys have a great brand. You have a great community right now, and obviously the consumers and customers that are using your product now are committed. But how are you finding ways to really land those early customers?
In the very beginning, Danielle and I came from two different worlds. She built her clinic on a referral basis. She put her head down, she grinded out. She didn't have any social media until a year ago and has built like an award-winning clinic on a referral basis. And so she has really incredible clients, and it's all due to she's cleared people's skin and she creates she takes people that are like really, really dealing with heavy skin issues and transforms their life really by clearing their skin. And then, so she had that whole clientele and community. And then on my side, I built up a strong community on social media as well. And so a lot of my friends are in the social media space, have podcasts, have blogs. I have a connection to a lot of different just beauty editors and friends that own companies as well that I can reach out to as mentors. And so I built just a really strong network of people. So when we first launched, it was our network of people that were buying for us. And then when the product started to work and we started educating more, it was really word of mouth because we didn't have email marketing for like a year. I know it's like really bad. It's like the most important thing now. I like cringe thinking about it, like knowing how much revenue comes from our emails now. I just like want to cry thinking that we didn't have it for a year, but it was literally just word of mouth for almost an entire year. The second part of that though, we did launch, so we launched like our makeshift website on Shopify, which we're not on anymore. But it was like, just build it out yourself, run of the mill template. But we had launched on Amazon. And at the time, this was like 2.5 years ago, a lot of skincare companies didn't exist on Amazon because it was really frowned upon by retailers. So like all the big skincare lines that you see in retailers would like have it in their contract. Like you can't be in our store and be on Amazon.
Wow.
Yeah, because people want to buy on Amazon. Now you see all these big brands because big brands were basically like, screw you, you're literally losing us out of millions of dollars. Like we'd rather be on Amazon. So that's changed, but we had a window of time of about 8 months. We were the only stem cell serum on Amazon. And so we were able to make a lot of revenue that helped us do everything else for the company at the time.
Wow.
God, great idea. Great idea.
Right for time for like 8 months.
I think going back to the early days, though, it was so important for you to have that internal network and also for your partner to already be involved in the ecosystem. It sounds like it was a perfect match for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been in the health and wellness space for years, and so our product fits right in.
Absolutely. And then going through the third topic, this is kind of a personal question, but I'm sure there's a lot of people in my stance of like, you know, I grew up with an older sister who pretty much just handed me her products and was like, hey, do this in the morning, do this at night. This is your routine. And I was like, all right. And, you know, somebody playing sports growing up, I did battle with acne, just naturally, like playing baseball, like around my hat and like catching and had it on my chin. Just for somebody, the normal person that's trying to kind of level up their skincare game, what is the traditional skincare routine that you would recommend for early adopted customers?
Yeah, so to keep it really, really simple, a big thing that a lot of people don't do that's the most important part of your skin is to exfoliate. So if you don't exfoliate, like a lot of dead skin cells build up, dirt, bacteria, your pores can't naturally exfoliate themselves. And so you're going to cause a lot of not only issues with acne, but also just like deeper wrinkles, just very dull looking skin. So once you start exfoliating, it's a complete game changer. Like anytime guys reach out, they're like, I just want to start with one product. What should it be? And I tell them the vitamin scrub. I was like, your skin will feel smoother. It'll look brighter. It'll look so much better. Like that's the one I start with. And then having a really good serum, because another thing the exfoliating scrub does is it primes your skin for any absorption. So it's really important you don't put anything of low quality on after, because it's only going to get deeper in your pores. And so our stem cell serum, that's going to be really calming. So especially if you have like any razor burn, it gets a little red or irritated, that's going to immediately cut the redness and calm it. Any sun damage, a lot of us are in California, so we're out in the sun all the time. And so it's going to help any inflammation from the sun, help sunburn. And then sun and using hot water is like the number one cause of like really deep looking wrinkles. And so the stem cell serum will help regenerate the skin, help smooth out those wrinkles as well, and just keep your skin really plump and hydrated. So those would be the first two I would start with.
And then on the flip side, what are the misconceptions that people have about skincare routines?
So what's been really trendy the last year is the 9-step Korean skincare routine. it's been like, oh, Koreans have amazing skin, which they do. And a lot of times it's genetic, but they use like 9 steps. Skincare does not need to be complicated at all. You just need to wash your face. You need to exfoliate it. And then you need a really good serum and a moisturizer. That's pretty much all you need. So it doesn't need to be anything complicated. You do run into a lot of issues with exfoliation. So there's a really, really popular one that's been around for years, and it's advertised in every magazine. I don't know if it's Neutrogena. I don't know what it is, but it's a CVS brand company. And basically the beads in it are plastic, and they're so harsh on your skin that they actually tear little holes and cause more long-term damage. So for years, dermatologists were like, don't exfoliate. Like, you should only exfoliate like once a week or even once a month. And it was because all the products that were out there were so disruptive to the skin. But the way we've created ours is with like tiny, tiny bamboo beads. They're so soft. And so you can exfoliate your skin every single day with it.
In one more, what are some foods that people can have? I mean, you talked about this earlier, like if you don't fix the foundation of eating foods that can help you, or drinking water, or having these things, the product's not going to do as best that it can if you don't change your everyday habits. So what are some foods that people could have, or everyday liquids that would actually benefit their skincare?
Anything that's really hydrating and low inflammatory for your skin. So a little bit lower sugar, not as processed food. Sometimes it's almost what you don't want to eat. As far as what you do, just keeping it like really clean, grass-fed organic protein, keeping up the vegetables, keeping up your hydration, keeping up your fats. A big reason why people will their skin will sink in and age a lot quicker is because they're not eating enough fats. So just eating more like olive oil, avocado, almonds, coconut milk, salmon, even like good grass-fed steak, those kind of things. So just keeping those healthy fats in. What causes a lot more damage to your skin is alcohol is like one of the biggest ones.
Everybody's like, oh no.
It's so inflammatory. It's so, but there's some things that just stay hydrated when you're drinking, aim for lower sugar as well, like a vodka, tequila, just keeping it cleaner. But alcohol is a big one. And then another thing that actually causes a lot of issues with the skin is undigested protein. So a lot of people will have breakouts on their neck and on their jawline where your lymphatic system is. So a lot of people don't digest proteins correctly. And so you can either just eat a little bit of a smaller amount, just don't overload it, or take a protein digestive enzyme when you're eating meat, and it'll just help your body break it down and process it better.
Thank you so much. I'm going to stop asking personal questions.
Can we get back to the webinar now, please?
Oh, hold on. Wait.
Hold on. Wait, 1 second though.
I'll just play this back and listen to this a few times and take notes, but I appreciate it. I'll pass it off to you, Ben.
Hey, it's not like it was personal. Hey, how can you not talk about how epic this meme is? Good Skin is not Amazon Prime. You can't have it in 2 days. Is that not amazing? Come on, how can you not talk about that? Thank you. All right, I'll stop. I'll let.
All right, Josh, can we pass it off to Ben, please?
Fine, man.
Am I going to get to finish my segment this week? Okay.
Nope, sorry, dude, not allowed.
Cut off. Time's up. Sorry, Ben.
You'd be amazed how often that happens. So digital stuff is really focused around the social, the digital advertising, the website, e-commerce, all that good stuff. And I think we touch on the social media side almost every single time, just because I think it's such a pivotal strategy for majority of companies in a wide range of industries. So I think first things first, Kayleigh, in terms of social, I've been talking about this recently, social can have kind of a negative effect, I think, on a lot of communities, whether it's, people posting just the best, the happiest, the funnest times that they've ever had. And people kind of, lean away from the negatives or that realness. And I think it's kind of a flawed ideology. So what I love about you guys is you guys post, you're not necessarily out there to create content to, hide any issues and challenges that people have. You guys are out there solving problems and not just ignoring them or hiding them. So I'm curious from your standpoint, how important is it to create that positive environment for your community and your customers And I assume from what I've seen, this is kind of what helps build that loyal community you guys have.
It's so important because you have to be really conscious, especially when you're dealing with people that have any type of self-image issues, including skin. So when someone has acne, like it kills their self-confidence and they don't show up the way they would. They don't feel just as in general as confident in themselves. And so we have to be really conscious about that. And it can be really triggering if those people are just seeing people with perfect skin all the time, because sometimes in their head, they're like, I just want to be like that. That isn't me. And it can actually hurt them even more. And so the best approach is to be like, okay, we see you. We understand what you're going through. We've both been through that. Now here's how we can help you. And so that's been the best way to build a community. And it's also like, as a human, if you're sharing any vulnerability, the way you'd want to be treated too. You know, if you're sharing your vulnerability, you don't want someone to be like, my life is perfect. Like, sorry, you have these issues. Like, you don't want that. You want someone to be like, I hear you. I understand you. I can relate to that. And then here are steps you can take so we can help you.
Of course. And yeah, I see just the comments and the engagement that you guys get. We've already mentioned it a few times, just the loyalty of the customers you guys have. You know, the product in itself, I think, speaks very highly of itself in terms of the quality and the number of repeat customers that you guys have. And then online on the website, you guys just have a ton of raving reviews. I think I looked at a ton of different products and just like 5 stars across the board, you know, so that everyone is just raving on it. In your mind, what's kind of been a big factor at building that like stronghold or those loyal fans that you guys have? Kind of what's the most important factor that they're looking for in a brand like you guys?
2 things. The first part has been the education. So it builds that trust with the consumer because we're educating about how to help your skin. We're not just saying, here, this product will solve everything for you. And we're kind of saying the opposite. We're like, if we don't work through these other things and figure them out, these products probably won't really help you that much if it's something caused internally. Now, sometimes it is something they're putting on their skin that's causing issues. And then as soon as they make that switch, their skin's going to change. But if there's something also internally going on, it's going to take longer for them to figure that out. And so that's the education we provide. Also, Danielle and I have been just like really headstrong on answering all emails, DMs, and messages that come in. So I'll sometimes take like a half a work day and just sit there. I'm like going cross-eyed, but I'm like answering DMs for hours and hours and hours. And so it's so hard. So I'm like on my phone, I'm not typing it out, but I'll answer a lot of times in voice memos to people, especially on Instagram. But we'll have people that share their entire life story, like with their skin, send pictures, be like, I'm at a loss. I've done everything. I've been to dermatologists. I've been on Accutane. Like, I don't know what else to do. Like, can you help me? And so I know if someone is taking that much time to share, then they do deserve my time back to at least give some sort of response to help them. And so that's something that Danielle and I are both really, really passionate about. And I think that's helped us build a really strong community because we aren't a brand that ignores our DMs.
Awesome. Yeah. And we kind of, I'm going to jump into this a little bit more as well, just talking about the transparency of having you guys as the face of the brand as well, which I think is super important that you just touched on. I guess lastly, just in that first topic here, just talking about the social media and we spoke a little bit about email for you guys, getting into email. On the digital side, we've got a ton of different platforms. And, you know, I know you mentioned that Danielle does a lot of referral-based marketing or referral-based business. And you have this platform on social and you've got a lot of great people within your network. Have you guys delved into the paid side? Is it something you haven't really had a necessity to do just yet? Or have you tried a couple of different online platforms?
Yeah, we've only done trade. We have yet to pay. And it's really funny. Like, I've been on the influencer side of things and I've been paid. I actually haven't done anything paid in like a year and a half because I don't like to. I like to share brands because I love them and I know the founders and I connect with them. So I would prefer to not do paid because I feel differently when I do it. And so the only people that we want sharing about ClearStem, though, are people who love it and want to genuinely talk about. So we'll do it for trade, but we do have an affiliate model set up. So all of our influencers that we have in our ambassador program, they get to give $10 off every time someone orders with their code, not just the first time. And then they get 10% commission. And so we have some influencers that are making a couple extra $1,000 a month from it. And so the more they talk about it and the more they share, they're able to make that money. So that's kind of our way of paying them, but we don't do pay to post. It's never going to work unless the only time I've ever seen it work. Liquid IV did it with JoJo Fletcher. She was the Bachelorette. And I think it was like a 20 grand payment, but they also had about 20 to 40 grand in ads set up to run to that. And they did end up making all their money back, and then more, because obviously those made repeat buyers. But there's only really specific people on social media where paying to post will actually work. And it's a very, very small amount. Other than that, I see the way it works. No one buys anything from seeing it one time. You need to see it consistently. You need to it needs to be someone that has a really strong community that listens and trusts who's talking about it as well. And so me being familiar with the influencer side, I'm very against paying to post. Yeah. But the affiliate model works great. And we have an amazing girl on our team that helps run our influencer program, but we also, for 6 months, we worked with Kayleigh, COHLEY, and it helped us connect with, we did it for trade. And basically we would pick every single campaign we did, we would pick 30 influencers, send them product, and then facilitate. There was a contract, so they had to post X number of stories and post X number of times. We did that not thinking people would buy the product. We did it for more brand awareness and also to gain more user-generated content. So I would say if you are paying at all to post, you should go into it with the mindset of brand awareness and then also just getting content for you to repurpose.
Yep. Yeah, we talked about it with Joe from Cured, and it was like you can see a direct ROI from a revenue standpoint, but what gets ignored a lot of the time is the impressions and just the sheer volume of impressions that you get in front of potential customers that generally is very hard to track. Awesome. So, kind of moving on, we spoke a little bit about, you guys sort of being the face of the brand. You and Danielle are all over the social media, which I think is fantastic. And it just goes to show, I think, the movement of a lot of brands to really be a lot more transparent. It helps build trust. It helps build credibility, loyalty among consumers. And I think it ultimately helps people trust in the brand to know that you guys are backing the product as much as, anyone out there. So, from your standpoint, I'm curious, you and Danielle are both very active on social and kind of on the brand side as well on ClearStem. Was that a decision early on that you guys made to sort of be upfront and be, a representative of ClearStem, or did it sort of just morph into that as you guys progressed?
It kind of morphed into it. I don't think there was one picture of us on the website when we first started. We were kind of building the brand from the back end, and I think that was a learning curve to have both of our faces on everything all the time, but it's what people engage with the most. We both have really strong skin stories that people connect with, and the more that we share that with people, the more they connect with us. And so it's my now biggest recommendation to anyone with a product brand is just continually share your story and let people get to know you. I mean, I even know my absolute favorite brands that I use all the time are people where I know the founders. I love the founders. They've also created great product, but it makes me want to buy that because I love the people. I wouldn't buy it if it was a bad product, but I buy it because they're amazing people that have created amazing product. But you want to support the people that you love, that you look up to, or you just really connect with in general. And so we've realized that by being more faces of the brand as opposed to being behind the scenes has made it that much more successful and has built a stronger community. Awesome.
Yeah. And to kind of segue into this next one, you guys being more involved in that education process for consumers. We talk about during COVID, especially brands coming up with alternative ways for revenue. And you guys have just launched or in the last few months launched these courses or these classes for customers to come in, learn more about educating themselves on skincare and best practices and things like that. How has kind of that experience been with this class you guys have been building and kind of what's the future of that?
It's been incredible. Building the course came from a need because number one, everyone can't fly into San Diego to see Danielle personally and go through a lot of these things that are in the course, but also get a treatment from her. And then number two, we were getting so inundated and overwhelmed with emails and having people share their life story, and then us spending hours a day giving people feedback. And though we love to do that, there was a lot of like, we weren't getting anything done because we were spending so much time doing that. And so we will still do that for some specialty things. We're still happy to like review things for people, but for a more blanket approach that people are trying to figure out their different acne triggers or what's going on with their skin, going through the course is basically like meeting with a naturopathic doctor, a gut specialist, a hormone specialist, an acne specialist, all in one. The courses are 7 hours long. They have like protocols attached to them. Like they're so in depth, and they're really meant so you can figure out what's going on in your skin and then have the action steps to get out of it. So it was a long time coming because education is such a huge pillar for us. And so this was kind of a big approach to being able to help people very personally, coupling with the products.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're almost helping them identify certain triggers or causes of their skin problems as opposed to just using a product to solve the problem regardless of what the cause is. So
yeah,
I think that's
another
awesome.
thing that we found incredible too. So we built this whole course, but what's really simple to do that has just been like crazy successful is just jumping on IG lives for people. And at first when we would jump on IG live, we'd have like a subject to it that we talk about. And then we realized like people just want to ask questions. So we'll hop on for an hour IG live and they'll just be non-stop skin questions. And so we don't even really need to go into it like with a plan. We're just like, what's your questions? And then we just like go through everything. And that leads to direct sales immediately. And that has been the best form of communication and ways to help people because they get to personally connect with Danielle and I, and we answer their very individualized questions for free.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah, I say this regularly. I haven't seen a brand like you guys that's so, putting yourselves at the forefront and helping to kind of be a part of the solution and a part of the community. So props to you guys for being able to build such a great, loyal consumer base. Josh, I'll hand it off to you, brother.
Cool. Perfect. Sweet. Thank you for going through all that. So what we like to do at the end, just have a quick little recap of ideas and whatnot from what we learned. So the biggest thing is that, as we know, we've seen a big shift in terms of the consumer. They're a lot more conscious. They're aware of the ingredients and they want more healthy, organic, and natural solutions. And obviously, that's the huge void that you guys fill. We're starting to see a lot more men actually seeking solutions and being okay and vulnerable with it. And that's another, thing that your brand is helping tackle. We're starting to see a little bit more technology-focused solutions in the skincare industry. Although, as we chatted with you, it's not always the best approach because there is no one size kind of fits all. Social media and community have been huge drivers for skincare brands, especially millennials and Gen Z. I love hearing about the IG Live and how you're able to do that. And I love that course. I think that's a huge nugget for a lot of people to take away from that. And then just moving into something that I'm just happy that a lot more consumers are valuing, just the idea of transparency, where things came from, who you are, why you matter. Because at the end of the day, if you're going to spend money on a company, I think it's extremely important not only to know the founders, but to know their story and their why, right? And I think that's been a huge thing and part of our generations. And then for you, just looking at, new opportunities for growth and revenue and using other ways to essentially bring that up for you guys. So thank you again. We have one last question that we love to ask everybody. So when we started Movetic, our tagline is actually stay moving. It's something that I live and our team lives day in and day out. And when you first heard stay moving, what kind of comes to your mind and what do you think of it with that?
Always having forward momentum. So even if things go wrong, just never turn around and go backwards, never stay where you are, just pivot and move on.
Love it. Awesome. Well, thank you again, Kayleigh. I really appreciate you taking the time for today. And that concludes our Stay Moving series number 11. Thank you.